I really believed I had moved beyond that version of myself. You know the one. The one who overthinks a simple message. The one who replays conversations hours later. The one who says yes out of habit, then sits alone wondering why she did. I thought I had outgrown her. After the boundaries, after the clarity, after choosing myself and feeling that steady internal strength, I thought the old patterns were behind me. And then something small happened. Not dramatic, not life altering, just a moment. A tone shift in someone's voice, a delayed reply, a subtle change in energy. And I felt it, that familiar tightening in my chest. The urge to fix, the urge to explain, the urge to smooth over something that may not have even needed smoothing. It was instant, automatic. Before I even realized it, I was drafting a message in my head, clarifying what I meant, softening what I said, making sure I hadn't come across as too firm, too distant, too much. I paused mid thought, and the realization hit me quietly. I thought I was past this. That's the strange thing about growth. It doesn't erase who you were, it just gives you awareness. And awareness can be uncomfortable because now, when you slip, you see it. You don't move unconsciously anymore. You witness yourself. And sometimes that feels worse. There was a time when I would have adjusted my behavior without noticing. Now I notice. Now I catch myself reaching for old coping mechanisms. Now I feel the pull toward familiar reactions. Regression isn't becoming who you were. It's remembering how easy it would be to go back. That's what surprised me, the familiarity of it. How comfortable the old pattern still felt. Like a sweater I claimed I didn't need anymore. It still fits. That's humbling. Because part of me wanted growth to mean permanent transformation. I wanted to believe that once I learned the lesson, I would never repeat it. But that's not how humans work. We are layered. History doesn't disappear, it waits. And when something feels similar to an old wound, the body reacts before logic catches up. That night, sitting alone, I felt disappointed. Not because I made a catastrophic mistake, because I recognized the old reflex. And for a moment, I questioned everything. Was the confidence temporary? Was the strength situational? Was I only stable when things were calm? It's unsettling to realize that growth doesn't make you immune. It makes you responsible, responsible for noticing, responsible for choosing differently, responsible for not letting a single emotional trigger rewrite your progress. That responsibility feels heavy some days because it would be easier not to know. Easier to slide back into autopilot. No, easier to tell myself, that's just how I am. But I can't say that anymore. I've seen what choosing myself feels like. I felt that steadiness. So when I regress, even slightly, it stands out sharply. It's not catastrophic. It's subtle, like checking your phone twice instead of once, like adding an unnecessary explanation to a message, like apologizing when you didn't do anything wrong. Small things, but I feel them now. And part of me wondered, does this mean I'm not actually changing? That thought lingered longer than I expected. Because when you start building a new version of yourself, you want consistency. You want proof. You want upward momentum. Regression feels like contradiction, but maybe it isn't. Maybe regression isn't a reversal. Maybe it's exposure. Exposure of what still needs attention. Growth doesn't delete instinct, it retrains response. And retraining takes repetition. There are neural pathways in me that have existed for decades. Approval seeking, conflict avoidance, self-minimizing. They don't vanish because I had a breakthrough. They quiet slowly, and sometimes they flare. Not because I failed, because they were practiced longer. That realization softened something in me. Instead of criticizing myself for slipping, I started observing it. What triggered it? What fear did it awaken? Was it rejection, misunderstanding, loss of connection? When I looked closer, I realized something important. The regression wasn't about the present moment. It was about an old memory. An old version of me who learned that safety came from staying small. That version still exists. She doesn't run my life anymore, but she's still in there. And sometimes she reaches for the steering wheel. That doesn't erase progress. It just means integration is ongoing. The mistake would be pretending regression cancels growth. It doesn't. It reveals depth. The real shift wasn't that I slipped. It was that I didn't spiral. I noticed the urge to over-explain, and I stopped mid-sentence. I deleted the extra paragraph. I let the original boundary stand. That small correction mattered. It proved something to me. Regression doesn't have to become relapse. You can catch it early. You can pause. You can choose again. And that second choice counts, maybe even more than the first, because it's made with awareness. There's humility in realizing you're not finished evolving. There's maturity in admitting old habits still whisper. There's strength in responding differently anyway. That night, instead of rewriting myself to feel safe, I sat with the discomfort. It wasn't pleasant. My mind tried to convince me to fix something, to smooth it over, to regain control. Each day, I didn't. I let the tension exist, and slowly it dissolved. Nothing catastrophic happened. No relationship ended. No disaster unfolded. The anxiety was internal, a familiar echo, and echoes fade when you stop feeding them. Regression taught me something I didn't expect. Growth isn't linear, it's layered. Sometimes you revisit an old emotional space not because you're stuck, but because you're stronger this time. You respond differently, you recover faster, you speak more honestly. That's not failure, that's evolution. This version paused. She felt the urge. She chose restraint. She tolerated uncertainty. That's progress. It may not look dramatic from the outside, but internally, it's massive. Regression feels heavy because it confronts your expectations. You expect yourself to be beyond certain reactions, but expectations can be rigid. Reality is gentler. You are allowed to still be learning, you are allowed to have reflexes, you are allowed to refine your response over time. You are not required to be flawless to be growing. That realization released some of the shame. Because underneath regression, there's often shame. Shame that you should know better. Shame that you're not fully healed. Shame that you're still affected. But healing isn't about erasing sensitivity. It's about handling it differently. And I did. Not perfectly, but intentionally. I didn't abandon myself. That's the difference. The earlier version of me would have self-criticized. This version observed. That alone tells me I'm not back where I started. Regression isn't the end of progress. It's a checkpoint, a reminder, an opportunity to choose again. And every time I choose again, the old pattern loses a little strength. It doesn't disappear overnight, but it weakens. That's enough. I don't need perfection. I need awareness and willingness. And even on the nights when I feel the pull backward, I now know something I didn't know before. I am capable of interrupting it. That knowledge is quiet, steady, and real.